Okay, let's dive into this explainer. We've all seen it, right? That absolute social media illusion, the fast profits, the quick trades, charts just flashing every second, and some influencer posting these massive gains from a beach chair somewhere. I mean, it makes day trading look incredibly exciting, literally like this fast track to completely changing your life. But then, well, reality hits hard. The actual truth, which we're going to unpack right now, is that most beginners actually lose money. And we're not just talking about a few unlucky folks here. A massive percentage of people who try this end up struggling big time to actually stay profitable in the long run.
So here is our roadmap to figure out what's really going on. We'll start with the day trading illusion, then we'll hit strategic sabotage, the emotional spiral, the mindset gap, and finally, fixing your behavior. We are basically going to dissect the 10 hidden mistakes that beginners just repeat day after day.
Which brings us to a really crucial, empathetic question. Seriously, why do so many incredibly smart people fail at day trading? Is it just bad luck? Are the markets heavily manipulated? Or maybe just a terrible strategy? Now, sure, those things happen, but the data actually shows most beginners are losing money simply because they're repeating the exact same hidden mistakes every single day, completely unaware. All right, Section 1, Strategic Sabotage, mistakes in the system. Let's move to and see how this builds. This is really that first layer of failure, looking at the structural errors that trip traders up before their emotions even get a chance to take the wheel. Take mistake number 5, for instance, flying blind with absolutely no real trading plan. It's wild, but a staggering number of beginners jump into trades with literally no entry strategy, no exit plan, absolutely zero stop loss, and no risk management whatsoever. They're just kind of reacting to the market in real time. But here is the big takeaway for you. Without structure, your trading is just pure chaos. The pros, they follow strict systems. They know exactly why they're getting in and the exact moment they're getting out. If you skip these basic rules, man, the market is going to punish that inconsistency so fast. And that lack of a plan, it throws you right into what we call the destruction loop. It goes like this. You lose a single trade. Okay, it happens. But instead of just accepting that loss, you scramble to recover the money immediately. To pull that off, you increase your position size, maybe use way too much leverage, and boom, you've completely wiped out weeks or even months of hard-earned progress. This perfectly captures mistake number 2, risking way too much, and mistake number 4, revenge trading. One bad emotional snap and your account is just decimated. Which naturally leads us to this incredibly punchy piece of wisdom. In trading, survival matters first. You see, beginners are usually completely obsessed with profits. They just want to make money and make it right now. But think about it. If you focus entirely on the profits and end up blowing up your account, all your future opportunities vanish right along with your capital. It's simple math. You absolutely cannot trade tomorrow if you lose everything today.
Moving on to Section 2, the emotional spiral, treating trading like gambling. This is where we look at how treating the stock market like a weekend at a casino drives accounts straight into the ground.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive gap between the professional and the beginner mindset. Pros are out there building a fortress of discipline, risk management, patience, and probability. Beginners, well, they're usually just in it for the adrenaline rush. They want the excitement, they treat it exactly like gambling, and they end up forcing these totally random entries and exits without any real plan. Look, when you're trading for a thrill instead of executing a strategy, heavy losses are practically a guarantee. That beginner mentality just opens the front door for what I call the silent destroyers. We're talking about the emotional triggers of mistake number 4. Fear, greed, panic, revenge trading, and of course, FOMO, the ultimate fear of missing out. A stock shoots to the moon, you panic buy out of pure FOMO, and right on cue, the bottom falls out and the price crashes. These emotional reactions happen in literally a split second, but trust me, their devastating consequences can absolutely ruin a portfolio for months. Which perfectly segues into mistake number 3, overtrading. Listen closely to this one. More trades usually just create more mistakes, not more money. Beginners stare at a blinking chart and think, oh man, I have to be in on this. Every tiny tick looks like a massive opportunity, so they just force trades out of sheer boredom. Professional traders, they just wait, patiently. They wait for quality, high probability setups. Just remember, forcing a trade almost always results in a very expensive trade. And another huge trap where beginners force things is mistake number 6, chasing social media hype. They're scrolling, following influencers, joining random chat rooms, and jumping on these online alerts instead of doing their own analysis. The danger here is just massive. Honestly, by the time you actually get that alert and enter the trade, the real opportunity is usually long gone, and the risk you're taking on is way, way too high. You end up emotional chasing. And the saddest part? Social media only ever shows you those glamorous wins. It perfectly hides all the painful, devastating losses behind the scenes. All right, let's jump into Section 3, the mindset gap, psychological flaws. This is the deepest layer of a failing trader, focusing on the psychological roadblocks that prevent real long-term survival. So, mistake number 8 is this brutal clash between beginner expectations and trading reality. Ask a beginner and they expect to quit their day job in a few months, get rich quick, or pull in cash every single day. The actual, harsh reality? Trading is absolutely not a guaranteed ATM. You're going to have to endure losing days, losing weeks, and yes, sometimes even losing months. Carrying those unrealistic expectations just creates this enormous pressure, which leaves you totally emotionally unstable the second things get rough. So the crucial point is this. The market has a funny way of humbling arrogance. That's mistake number 9. A little bit of early success can completely trick a beginner into overconfidence. They hit a few winners, and suddenly they stop respecting risk because they genuinely think they've cracked the code. But the veterans, the experienced traders, they know anything can happen at any moment. They stay cautious because they know for a fact that one bad trade can change your entire life if you stop respecting the market. You can literally see that lack of respect in what they choose to focus on. Mistake number 10 highlights this classic beginner obsession. How much money did I make today, or how much did I lose? Now compare that right alongside the professional focus. Did I follow my rules today? Did I manage my risk properly? Did I actually stay disciplined? Obsessing over the dollar signs just breeds terrible emotional choices. Focusing on your process, your rules, and your discipline, that is what actually drives real long-term results. To really sum up this mindset gap, let's look at mistake number 7, ignoring psychology. So many beginners are convinced that trading is 100% about strategy. But here's the truth. A phenomenal strategy will still hemorrhage money if your emotions are driving the car. The market is constantly, relentlessly testing your emotional discipline through fear, greed, and impatience. If you underestimate that psychological warfare, you are going to self-sabotage. It's practically guaranteed. Which brings us to Section 4, fixing your behavior, the cure. Because diagnosing the disease is only half the battle, right? Now we need the cure. Let's simplify this whole thing into one absolutely critical takeaway. The real problem here? It's not your intelligence, and it's definitely not a lack of luck. It's behavior. Most day traders lose money because they trade emotionally. They risk way too much capital. They overtrade. They chase social media hype. They lack basic discipline, and they hold on to these wildly unrealistic expectations. Failing at day trading is a direct, measurable result of repeating those specific behavioral mistakes. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it completely flips the script on who you're actually fighting. The biggest enemy in trading is not the market, it's uncontrolled emotions and bad habits. Real success is not about finding some magical, holy grail chart pattern. It's about fixing your own behavior first. You've got to master your self-awareness, your patience, and your emotional control long before you can ever hope to master the market. Which leaves us with this final, truly provocative question for you to chew on. Are your daily habits building a profitable system, or are you just gambling in a disguised casino? Take a really hard look at your routine, because the market isn't just testing your strategy, it is testing your discipline every single day. Master your psychology, fix those bad habits, and you'll be well on your way to not just surviving, but actually thriving as a trader. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.